I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, we'll make up here for the lost time because usually he's somewhere in the back. Usually he's doing a whole bunch of different things. Every time we do our monthly BTW shows where we recap this show and got you ready for that show, but for good reason here, this man is going to talk about how he sunsetted his dad's career. And we always heard about how RTG's always got a plan, but that plan, well, guess what? It ain't going to be involving anything here in the ring. We'll get into that. We'll also get into this man here being a double champion for a minute. We'll show you some footage on how this man ended Daddy's career. And we'll also talk about maybe some BTW stars and maybe award BTW with some things here, and also talk about some others that who knows maybe are going to be back in 26, and certainly get you ready for a season 8 that we are really, really pumped up for. And, when I think about Sportswire Radio this year and, all Wrestling Matters and all the great companies that come on here, and it's a great pleasure every month to get the opportunity to talk with this company, and this man is right there front and center. And I want to introduce him. I would give him the long intro, but I know we got to get to a lot of things here. But nevertheless, we are here with the reigning, defending BTW Continental Champion, and he was the world champion, but he is the sunsetter not only of RTG's career, but certainly of BTW and the whole backyard and underground wrestling circuit. And we've got the same matching shirts. We almost have the same matching hairstyles, but he doesn't have the mutton chops, thankfully. But nevertheless, we could be twins without the mutton chops. Mr. RJS Champ, how you doing? And great to see you here. It's usually Daddy it starts, but I guess since after you ended his career, you get to lead things off for it.
Well, I'm doing fine. It's been a good few weeks for December, and the off season's kicking off just as strong as ever. We got full matches, full segments, highlight videos coming up weekly. So
I saw some of the footage, and definitely we're excited about that. Always love having BTW here on Sportswire, and I know that in the coming weeks we'll have plenty to talk about, because I'm sure there'll be some usuals that will return on here and have some things to say. But let's get right to it. Obviously, you had the opportunity. You've heard all this talk about how your dad was never ever gonna continue to go through with what he went through, and his career was always going to always have a plan. The Northwest Society's career was going to keep going. You and your brother, I'm going to go right to that footage. We'll talk about it. Plus, I got a lot to give here tonight for BTW. This might actually, you're going to probably chuckle at this, but it's a good thing for you and obviously the rest of the guys. But I think I'm going to probably set a record here for things I give out here tonight. So that might be one we'll remember. But let's get right to it. I want to talk, certainly for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that BTW most certainly helped build, Sportswire. We're going to get right to it. I'm going to go show the footage, and we're going to certainly plug everything else that we need to. So I'm going to go right into it, and we're going to go, there we go. All right, so we'll put this up. I'm going to share my screen. I don't know why I'm not popping up my screen. There we go. Technical difficulties, but obviously you've heard a lot about what your dad has been saying for the better part of more than a year, and this was definitely a family affair. And talk to me about what's going through your mind here as we're getting ready to go show you, your brother, and RTG in the ring.
So going into this match, I thought that it was just right, it being me and my brother as RTG's final match. I'm
especially
just happy
after all the things he said about you guys over the past year, and talked about you previously in the past couldn't win the big one. We know your struggles to win back the world championship, and obviously BES and what Mr. RTG has said there, and that's where it makes the icing on the cake, nevertheless, as they always say.
Yeah, I'm just happy it wasn't Steven Storm or someone who retired RTG like that.
Well, I think your dad's obviously a big fan of Steven Storms for obvious reasons, but you were definitely one of the better competitors out there. I love watching it in the backyard in the underground. You've been doing it for a long time, and we know what your dad has done in order to continue his streak, which is basically let his opponents fight it out, and we'll certainly show the footage on how it all unfolded. But you and your brother, obviously two of the very best, and I mean, just it's always a pleasure watching you two out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you
The
guys are like,
fans.
I always say it all the time. You guys are like a video game out there. You guys are almost like just create a character, for WWE 2K, and you guys would be that. But your dad, not so much. Maybe we will be joined by Mr. RTG because obviously he's celebrating the fact that the 49ers won yet again. Although it's not much saying being the Titans, but hey, win's a win. But RTG baby is here. And he's obviously always got a plan, and he's always two steps ahead, and he's always playing chess rather than everyone else playing checkers. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. And listen, smart strategy by him, letting you guys come out first, so you guys have to wait and wait and wait, and while he can just do what he does best. Yeah, I mean, it's just listen. I mean, you are the best out there in the ring, and you don't have to do the talking. Usually, you don't have to do the talking. And guess he's flashing that Continental Championship. Yeah, you don't have to listen. There's. I think I was saying this a couple of days ago on Sportswire. We had the IMF guys on here, and we were talking about Il Drago, who his opponent was talking about him, and I said kind of the same thing about you. Although Drago is a fantastic guy on the mic, but I was saying, well, he's the incumbent. He doesn't have to talk, and in your case, it's kind of the same thing. You're the world champion. You don't necessarily have to talk because, I mean, you do your talking in the ring, but nevertheless, you and your brothers.
You can see right there, he tried to do his usual stick, but we got him.
Well, you know what? But he, you are a little mad at the moment. And I have understood we'll be joined by Mr. RTG in about 10 minutes or so. We'll see what he has to say about this. But right now, I mean, you and your brother are out there, and RTG is in his usual outside the BTW ring, and you guys get to just fight it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but,
I got to do some cool stuff that I don't normally do, like that, the kip up.
What's the adjustment been like now that the season's been completed, being in the ring versus in the past? I know you've been in a ring before. I know you have some training. I know we've talked about that, but just as we're setting the tables here, how was the adjustment overall this year in being in a ring full time?
Well, it's hard on the body. Let me tell you, Tom, every taping I do, I'm sore for about a week straight.
Well, I believe it.
I'm used to it definitely now, though. I'm definitely used to it.
No, it's great. No, I think that that's an important point, that your body is going to get adjusted more so next season, and maybe next season it'll be even better. But smart by you, smart there by putting your feet and legs onto the rope, so that way your brother can't get a submission victory. There's smart strategy there. That's why, after all, we know you've patented a lot of your in-ring work off Kurt Angle, and that's exactly what somebody like a Mr. Angle would do. And we saw Mr. Angle obviously yesterday at John Cena's final match. And speaking of people, I know you'd get mad if I compared RTG and John Cena together, but certainly two completely different retirement matches. But nevertheless, there is your brother. I mean, like I say it all the time, I don't know how he does it. I mean, he's just like, he's our Jeff Hardy of the backyard and the underground. I don't know how he finds ways, and there he was, Spider-Man, aka BES. But that's one for good measure, and your dad's gonna feel that one. Yeah, he'll be sore for more than a week. He might be sore for the next year. And there's your brother again, and you're outside there, and I could see why you're sore.
Yeah,
it's painful. No, it's definitely painful taking that. But RTG baby's always got a plan, and he's mouthing off to your brother, and you don't certainly like that much, and you've dealt with that your entire life. So maybe in one sense I could understand, but really good move there by you. That was a smart move, veteran tactic, and obviously you get to go do what you do best, and really nice suplexes. Obviously shades of Eddie Guerrero. We were talking a lot about Eddie Guerrero the other day when I had Sick Boy on. Obviously, Sick Boy from WCW. We had a lot of talk about Eddie Guerrero and some of those guys, and you certainly reminded me a little bit of that there. We're watching RTG, BES, and the man with us right now, RJS, in a match for the BTW Continental Championship. But also, if RTG loses this match, which spoiler alert, he will, his in-ring career will end. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. And if you're here on Sportzwire Radio, please hit the sub button for BTW. The BTW guys are closing in on almost 4,000 subscribers. That's a big number. The IMF guys just got it a couple of weeks ago, and the BTW guys are right behind them. So if you're here, tell your friends, have them tell their friends, hit the sub button. But your dad there certainly comes back out, and he decides to show up and probably hit some in-ring offense that he hasn't done too much this season. Yeah, there he goes, and obviously he does sort of a Uranagi, and you're gonna feel that, and he does that again. I mean, your dad does have strength, and obviously he did raise you guys, but he's mouthing off. Certainly, he may be the veteran, but he goes right for the pin. But yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna happen, and I think we're gonna see your dad in a couple of minutes, and he's motioning. I think we're ready to bring him on. He's had enough, and he certainly. He said to me, actually, you're hogging up all the spotlight as usual. So, so here he is, RTG baby. I know I saw you nodding at me, and I've decided to bring you on to the screen. And it's good to see you. And sorry about what we're about to show in a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, at least the 49ers won today, right? At least the 49ers.
Yes, they did. And
it was. They did.
49ers won. They're 10-4. They're in the playoffs at this moment. So
yeah, no, I think after the Lions lost, they'll likely be in the playoffs. But you guys are obviously just finished your Super Bowl, which was November to Remember night 1 and night 2, and obviously RTG, you are dealing with your son on the screen, whose sunsetted your career, and then right now you're watching your other son, who I basically compared to Spider-Man and Jeff Hardy and like a video game, and they're both beating each other up, which I guess at this moment, Mr. RTG baby, would make you very happy.
Well, yeah, at this moment I was just biding my time, waiting for letting them beat each other up, playing chess.
Just playing checkers. I repeated some of the things you said before you came on here. Don't worry. I was making a joke with RJS that he doesn't really have to talk much on Sportswire because he does his talking in the ring, whereas you do the talking for almost all of us, except one guy that you famously call Chocotos. But nevertheless, he won't be here tonight. But I have a feeling that he'll be here in a few weeks again on Sportswire. But nevertheless, we're seeing the video game like stuff between your two sons, and I do want to point out one feature I really like that BTW has added this season is the replay button, which I think is a really cool feature. So very nice work, whoever's done that in editing. I have a feeling I'm talking to somebody right here who did that. But hey, at least I was trying to get some stuff in. But nevertheless, we're seeing some offense, and you must have felt that because RTG. I was talking with RJS, and he said that he felt sore for a week after you guys were in the ring, and I'm sure you felt sore maybe a little longer than that. I'm sure.
I was sore for about 2 weeks after that.
See, I knew that was going to be the answer, and we're watching some shades of the late great Eddie Guerrero, and I was talking about that with RJS because we had on Sick Boy on Friday, who was in Raven's flock, and shared a couple of things about Eddie Guerrero. So there you go, and you did your own Uranagi, which for you was pretty good. I gotta say, might have been the most offense we saw of you consecutively this season. I guess you decided to show your strength, your brute force like strength. After all, you've raised your son, so you probably, they've probably felt that. Well, we won't talk about that parenting, here on Sportswire, nevertheless.
Well, look at this. This surprised me during the match. BS showing that strength to pick his brother up and walk around the ring with him.
Well, he does a lot of things that would surprise almost anybody. So to tell you the truth, I mean, when these two guys are out there, nothing surprises me. I got to tell you, RTG, that your two sons are some of the very best out there. Period. I'll even throw it out there in all of wrestling, not just the backyard and the underground, because I do get on a lot of wrestlers. But you used your veteran tactic, and you certainly roughed up your son a little bit there, and gives you an opportunity to get back in the action and maybe see if you can get some more offense in.
Yeah, I was my thought process was stay out there, let them beat each other up, get my shots in when I could, and then take advantage of it when I had the chance. But I
but it
pulled an
wasn't enough,
RJS at the end.
was it?
Yeah,
We know this.
I pulled
Well,
an RJS at the end there.
Well, it's been 2 weeks already. So at this point, I mean, we've been waiting 2 weeks to talk about this on the Sportswire. So, we're doing that now. And obviously, you two are mouthing off because you two have mouthed off a little bit at each other, certainly more so than BES has over the past 14 or so months. But there he is. I tell you what, this guy, your son, he doesn't have to talk. Not with what he does in that ring. I got to tell you, not with what he does in that ring. He's a special talent, and that's why he's the coolest guy in the yard. But you certainly are having none of that, and you certainly do what you do to keep you alive in this match and keep your in-ring career in this match. RTG, so what's going through your mind here right now at this moment?
Right now, I'm just I'm doing whatever I can to, like I said, put some pain on these guys, let them beat each other, and then keep them from pinning each other, because obviously it's not an elimination match, so I
No.
lose if one of them pins the other one. So
that's it. One pinfall or submission, and your career in the ring is over. So
I'm staying fresh on the outside. I'm not getting.
You've done that a lot this season, though. To be fair, that is something you've done. I mean, ask Jacob Wayne about that, but we won't ask Jacob Wayne about
strategy.
Hey, listen,
strategy that worked for me.
I gotta tell you, what? Objectively speaking, I've always said win's a win. By any means necessary. But right now, I mean, this is why your son was the BTW World Heavyweight Champion at this moment, and that. I'll tell you what, that was quite a move there, quite a move, and there he goes beating you up and keeping you on the outside, and so you don't come back in there. Yeah,
yeah. Got to have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, you said that repeatedly, and you slammed his head right into that mat, and that's gonna definitely hurt, and that is gonna definitely hurt as well. And why not stack them? Yeah, why not? Why not?
I said I was going to smack them, stack them, and pin them, and they kicked out of that stack.
Well, they knew what was on the line after all. I mean, RJS did kind of help himself out there with that Canadian Destroyer before. I got to tell you, that was pretty impressive. That was the move I was trying to get out of my mouth, and I didn't get a chance to say it, but there we go. But nevertheless, there is RTG, and Mr. RJS had to turn around, and RTG still doing what he does.
I think I was telling RJS there to, keep your eye on BES and don't worry about me.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily, the best strategy, but hey, listen, there you go. I tell you what, but just watching you two guys go out there, nevertheless, is it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun covering you guys and watching what you guys out there. Sometimes I get a chance to watch you guys live and be in the chat, but it's always a pleasure each and every month. But there you are, and definitely choking out your son on that rope, and that's painful, and he's going to feel even more pain there right now. And that's a reason why you need to hit the sub button for BTW, and also follow them on Instagram, TikTok, especially follow them on YouTube for those shorts, because they get a lot of those out there, and that's what drives people to the page. I've kind of learned that here the last couple of weeks, but nevertheless, shades of Kurt Angle on the ankle lock, and BES is fighting. He is fighting with every inch that he has in him. And there you are. That's what you've been doing throughout the match. And you know what? If there's a will, there's a way. And that's what you do. Nice little DDT there. Nice little DDT, shades of Mick Foley, and 1, 2, but not quite, not so fast, to Coatley Corso. But nevertheless, there you go, trying to get out of there, but BES wouldn't have it. He definitely wouldn't have it, and that's his agility, his quickness, but he got caught on those ropes, and that's what's going to hurt him. It's going to cost him dearly. Definitely, he's caught in those ropes, and he's got nowhere to go, but here you go. 1, 2, no, 1, 2. Wait, got the ropes. 1, 2. Ooh, almost. I tell you what, that was like 2 and 9/10 there. Almost. Close, but no cigar.
A little closer than I had hoped for.
You know what? That was definitely a 2 and 9/10. That was one of those where it's 1, 2. Ooh, almost. But there you go again for a choke slam. It was a good choke slam there. And you got to cover him. What are you waiting for? Come on, let's go. It was almost like Phillip Rivers trying to get the Colts down the field there against the Seahawks before they kicked eventually a field goal.
One choke slam wasn't going to keep him down.
No, one wasn't going to keep him down, but you're not you're taking your time. You're taking your time, and you're giving RJS an opportunity to come back on his feet. And RJS doesn't have to do nothing. And there you are. Yeah, I don't know if you're getting tired or if you took it to the camera there, but nevertheless, you're stomping a mud hole on BES. I would have certainly got to cover, at least try a 1, 2, and not quite there.
Right there, I'm saying again,
that was gonna hurt. Yeah, I was gonna leave a mark. That's gonna
stack them, and pin them.
The best hidden blade.
That's it. That's all she wrote.
I played chess the whole match. I decided to switch over to checkers at the end, and I lost.
Let's get on the replay because this is the moment that a lot of people they didn't think would happen. That it's the moment that a lot of people really thought it wouldn't happen. I mean, obviously, you could look at it from the bright side. You didn't go out the way Cena did. Maybe you wouldn't have allowed that. You wore RTG, baby. But nevertheless, we'll certainly show some of that footage as we're letting it play out with the replay here. And if you are here, hit the sub button. I know Zilla wants to talk to both of you. We're going to give Zilla that opportunity shortly. I promise you we'll do that. But we are recapping the final match of the one and only RTG baby's career. And with us also is the Sunsetter himself, RJS, who, oh, by the way, wrestled 2 matches here at night 2. So you definitely want to stay tuned for everything related to BTW and throughout the season. And just again, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally. We're all music and wrestling matters here. And if you are here on Sportswire Radio and you'd like to hit the sub button for us, you can certainly do that as we are recapping BTW's November to Remember season finale. And there it is. All she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. And your winner and new Continental Champion, RJS. And let's put the volume up here a little bit here so RJS can see that moment of being a double champion.
Double champ on the same night.
I got a little surprise for you, RTG. Look at it. It's nice and clean. Nice and shiny, just for me.
Wow. That's certainly he's now. It
Keep
looks
it up.
like
You won't be holding on to it long next season, buddy.
Well, you know what? Your son's playing chess rather than checkers in this particular case, but we'll put the volume back up here
Let's hear what this man has to say. This was his retirement match, and I'm happy I was the one to pin you.
Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Those that are listening, watching our radio, RTG's retirement.
I can't believe it. I can't. It's just not sinking in. I'm no longer a wrestler in BTW. I'm now retired. Now, just let me say congratulations, RJS. I can be the nice, kind guy. Good job.
Wow, a turn of the leaf on RTG's part.
I think even our
Now that I'm
commentator
retired,
team is surprised as well.
That just gives me more time to plot your guys' destruction.
Okay, never mind.
And the manager of the Northwest Society. I told you, RTG gets what RTG wants. And come next season, you guys will see what I'm talking about. I talked about it all season long. You can maybe figure it out. You guys, watch out. Come next season, the Northwest Society is going to be bigger, badder, and better.
Mm.
We're
You can't
expanding.
kick that stupid smirk off your face no more.
The smirk stays on. And good luck to you two next season. BTW, it was a blast while it lasted. It's time for the G to put his wrestling sweats up, take off the Daddy Young Show shirt, and I'm still the man, the myth, and the legend. And
Hey,
the GOAT.
BES. See you next season.
And
We
we'll
got a
Now-
lot plotting too.
we'll see you all next season.
He did.
Love out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, certainly that was memorable, and we'll put the BTW YouTube link up there. But RTG, baby, you were, I guess, still always playing chess rather than checkers, but we certainly weren't confusing you with Cena, but you wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Yeah, I won't ask anybody what they think about that. I'll leave that at that. But since we saw what just happened, and I know RJS has been here on Sportswire many times in the past, and it occurred to me, he and I were speaking earlier this week, and we were having a conversation about different things, and he reminded me of something which is going to now maybe tell you, RTG, why we're always playing chess rather than checkers, because it gives me an opportunity to share my screen, because he reminded me of something that I didn't realize that we hadn't done yet. So I think it's the right time to do it, and especially for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And RGS himself goes into the sports Hall of Fame, which is like, to me, I didn't even realize that. We know with BTW, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer already, but I mean, especially what this man has done in the yard for the better part of a decade. I almost owe you an apology, Mr. Sunsetter. I have to apologize to you that I had not put you in the Hall of Fame any sooner, because considering, I mean, who was in the Hall of Fame previously and such and elsewhere, and I owe you an apology, and I'm going to try to make up for it by putting you in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame individually. I know you're in the Hall of Fame already with BTW, but it occurred to me after you and I were speaking that this had not occurred prior. So what better way to do it right now and have your dad here, especially after you retiring him, and congratulations. And at the same time, my apologies to you that I had not put you in the Hall of Fame any sooner individually.
Hey, it's happening now.
That's
And
true. That's true. I
thank-
mean,
thank you.
to be fair, I just inducted a Dudley, so the Dudley got inducted before. I mean, it wasn't Bubba and Devon. Apologies on that, but it was still a Dudley. It was Chubby Dudley who just got inducted, but nevertheless, it's Sick Boy and Chubby Dudley are the last two Hall of Famers, and you go right in that company, so you can look at it from there. But no, we'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. But we have a bunch of things to give BTW, but I'll let Zilla talk to you guys. I know Zilla does want to throw some comments, and we'll have some fun throughout the next 45 minutes or so. Yes, thank you, Zilla. Zilla was very excited about this, and there you go. Zilla's always in the chat, and we appreciate Zilla. And there's a guy here. I guess I'll let you guys talk about him for
Dude,
a few minutes.
Freak
Yeah.
Math!
Well, Freak Math. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was bummed he didn't win his match in TPW, but he's off to a good start, and he's been certainly mouthing off with a guy that RTG you've, I guess, lovingly referred to as Chokatos or Dumatos in previous episodes, and that is the Psychotic Freak, and he's certainly taken TPW by storm. He's a free agent, and who knows, maybe he'll take his talents to BTW, and maybe we'll finally get that face-off between him and Comatose, or as like I said, you refer to him as Chokatos or Dumatos.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look, he had a chance to walk out of there as the TV champion, and he lost to BES. He choked again. So,
Well, he did beat Steven Storm in a strap match. He certainly kept his own interpromotional championship.
well,
Look at
yeah, that's That's that made up thing that he made up to bring
Hey,
the.
it's a championship to championship. I mean, listen. Listen. You can't take away the fact that he did retain his interpromotional
He
championship.
did. He did, and he beat Steven Storm, but that's the
Hey, Ted DiBiase calls him.
BCF. That's the
Hey, listen,
BCF, Steven.
right.
If he took me up on my offer and he joined the Northwest Society, I guarantee he would have walked out of there the champion.
Well, Mad Jack seems to be upset at you also these days. I mean, with his new hair look. I mean, obviously, he certainly had quite a few things to say about you. But speaking of which, boy, I mean,
I had nothing to do with that, Mad Jackass. I don't know why you're mad about your hair. The guy up in the corner there, RJS, is the one that did that.
Just to make sure, you just mentioned Steven Storm, right? You mentioned him just now.
Yeah.
Yet, if you want to continue to say anything else about Steven Storm.
Well, I mean, the offer's still there, Steven. Come join a real faction.
Well, speaking of people, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, it wouldn't be a show without him. And there he is, Steven Storm. Steven, how you doing, Steven?
Steven?
I'm glad you're here because I got something for you. But first of all, RTG had a few words for you, which I'm sure you just heard in the back. And anything you might want to say about him and such the future for you?
All I know is, at this point, you're going to keep making that offer, RTG, but you're not going to get an answer from me, immediately, all right? And I'm just going to say this. Actions speak louder than words.
Well, you guys just about imploded at November to Remember Night 1 and 2. I mean, you guys are at each other's throats. That would never happen in the Northwest Society. But this isn't going to be an offer that's out there forever, Steven. So think long and hard, and we'll see next season.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me your offer has an expiration date, almost like
it has an expiration date,
or Christmas deals, last minute shopping? You mean to tell me?
If he doesn't want to join, I have to go get somebody else. So
maybe he's not going to tell you his decision because he's already made his decision.
He can wait till next season, but it's not gonna. I'm not gonna wait till November to remember of next season for an answer. I want it sooner than later.
I see. Sooner rather than later, but maybe Steven Storm, he's gonna make you wait. He's gonna make you wait, and he's not gonna tip his hand at the moment.
That's fine. He can play. He can try and play the mind game. I mean, he ain't playing mind games with me. Maybe he's playing mind games with his BCF brethren or the rest of BTW. But
Mad Jack was certainly, as I said. I mean, Steven Storm. How do you feel about Mad Jack and his new hair look? How did you feel about that nowadays?
Well, if you actually alluded to what I said in one of the previous shows, I said that Mad Jack has to make a personal sacrifice.
Well, obviously, as a group, I think the big question will be where do you guys go from here next season? Obviously, sir, you haven't had the success you would have wanted once again as a group. At times, there were moments where, as a group, the BCF4 should have been right up there with the likes of the Northwest Society, but nevertheless, I mean, it was another disappointing end to the season.
Yeah.
I mean, Mad Jack got a win. I mean, Mad Jack did get a victory over Alex Ryder, but you came up short, and Gold, for the most part, has eluded this group.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme these past couple seasons, actually.
I mean, Andre Xavier, he certainly had his moments. We know Mikey D and his inspirational moment that he had winning the television championship, but he couldn't keep it very long. BES had it. You came up short in multiple opportunities. We know Mad Jack came up short to win multiple championships, especially the world title. And again, you guys walk away. I mean, last year you were fired. This season you were brought back by RTG. But as a whole, this season, when we look back on the BCF4, it was, I would say, a mixed record of results.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's something that you're going to have to ponder. I mean, have you spoken to the rest of the group since the season ended 2 weeks ago?
The only people I've spoken to so far were Mikey and Andre.
But you haven't spoke to Mad Jack, confirmed.
Nope. Because I think he's still embarrassed.
Well, look, obviously, that haircuts can do that for you. But you certainly do have a lot to be proud of. You have a lot to be proud of, and you gave Comatose everything you could. You could. Yes, he's trying. This is, by the way, the best we've heard Steven Storm all year on Sportswire. I have to tell you, Steven, this is the best we've heard you audio-wise. So I think by next season, it'll get even better. And Mikey D is here, wanted to point out, I've had enough of Mad Jack bossing me around. He finally got what he had coming. To be fair, we talked about this. You guys were bullied, and especially Mikey D from Mad Jack. And Mad Jack was the one who came up short time and time again. And now you have bad Wi-Fi and audio there. Somebody did. Well, RJS walked off. He got his moment. He's the sunsetter. And hello to our friends in the EWA who put on a heck of a show. I'm really excited about them. Please hit the sub button for them. They really had a great show. They had Ashton Day, who held the NWA championship, in his hands for their show. So just really, really thank you, Hubie, to the guys. But I think RJS is returning, hopefully with some better technical audio for us. But listen, Steven Storm, for your sake and the guys' sake, I hope it's going to be a better season. And hope to get back in the ring next season. Yeah, we hope for that's the case. Congratulations to RJS getting into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame individually. Hello to the Psychotic Freak. Yes, and the show went well for the guys, although for the BCF4, it's not as successful as they would have liked as a whole. But I guess for you, RTG, you did talk about the fact that now that your in-ring career is over, you have more time to plot. And will your plotting also include the future of the BCF4?
Oh yeah, and it's everybody. Nobody will escape the plotting of RTG in the Northwest Society because we hold the tag team championships,
yes.
So I'm sure the BCF will want their tag titles.
And you've
back.
got Blackout still. You have got Blackout.
I've got Blackout. I've got the up and coming Gabriel James, the next generation. But like I said, I'm looking to expand the Northwest Society. Steven.
But that offer included Steven Storm, the hardcore assassin, but he hasn't accepted yet, so we don't know.
And who knows what the season will hold next year as far as the Northwest Society.
I guess we'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out, but nevertheless, hit the sub button for BTW. It does, since you are here, Steven, and I know the outcome wasn't what you hoped for. I'm going to try my best to make up for it because I want to share my screen, and I think it's the right time because maybe this will help you for the springboard to next season. Maybe this will give you that jolt that you need to bring home some championship gold, or maybe figure out what you're going to do with the BCF4 or what you're going to do with Mr. RTG's offer, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, Steven Storm, you have joined the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame individually. I know you would have liked to have been here with the Interpromotional Championship, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. But let's let you use this as motivation for a big 2026. We'll give you the physical copy when we're off the air. Thank you, Steven. We are certainly appreciative of that. Speaking of which, I know that RJS is here, and I know RTG. I would love to know how you feel about our new BTW World Champion, and what a match to end the season. RJS and Swift, and two men tag tag partners. When we think about the pillars of BTW, you could throw a 1 and 2, flip a coin, RJS and Swift. And what do you think about the Beast, Swift being the new world heavyweight champion going into next season?
Well, like you said, they are the pillars. I mean, they are two of the, I would say, first four people,
Yes.
original four, BES included in that, and then me.
Mhm.
And then you
Yes.
had, other people throughout or whatever that came and went. But the four of us have been here from the beginning. So let me just say congratulations to RJS for getting into the Hall of Fame and Steven for getting into the Hall of Fame tonight.
Well, we still have more.
Um,
Well, we have more tonight. So trust me, we have more names to go in the Hall of Fame. But nevertheless, I figured I'd put the match up here for a few minutes because again, I mean, RJS a heck of a match, and obviously understandable that you weren't able to retain your world championship because, well, you pulled double duty out there. But that's what you wanted, and you wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
True that.
It wouldn't have won it any other way, and I couldn't blame you. And you are a competitor, and like Mr. RTG said, the pillars of BTW at the top, it's you and Swift, and I would say two of the very best in the backyard, in the underground, or anywhere. Period. Are RJS and Swift, and there we see that Canadian destroyer, and just great stuff. And you two guys have battled together. You've battled against each other, and that's what it's all about. And I'm sure RJS, you'll want that World Heavyweight Championship back, which you fought so hard to get. But you do have that Continental Championship. But since I have my screen in front of me, and I know it's not the outcome you would have wanted, but I do think it's the outcome that somebody else would have wanted. So allow me to share my screen for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Swift goes in to the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We're not done. Swift goes into the Hall of Fame because, after all, he's the BTW World Champion. Another guy that individually, how is he not in the Hall of Fame? And my apologies, by the way. My apologies to you, RJS, tonight. My apologies to you, Steven Storm. My apologies to the Beast Swift, because you guys individually were not in the Hall of Fame, and I'm trying to make up for that. And he's the World Heavyweight Champion. I think we all can agree the World Heavyweight Champion most certainly needs to go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and I think he's got a great case for that. And, obviously I'm going to take this off my screen, but I think we can certainly give this to Swift. I'm sure I have somebody here that can forward that to him. But speaking of people that we talked about earlier as pillars of BTW that I wanted to go back to while I had a chance, and that is the coolest guy in the yard, BES. And boy, what a match he put on earlier in night one against a man RTG. You have battled with quite a bit on Sportswire. It's kind of lonely here tonight, RTG, right? Because Comatose, you call him Chocotos, Dumatos, is usually here on Sportswire. And it feels like, even though I've had all these big names on Sportswire, like this guy Raven and this guy Sick Boy, Jumpin' Jim Brunzel, and but Comatose hasn't been on Sportswire this month. It's almost been a quiet month, but you and him have battled quite a bit here on this platform over the past year. You and him have battled in the ring, but nevertheless, the coolest guy in the yard, BES, is battling him, and I guess that's why you refer to him, RTG, as Chocotos.
Well, I think he's on a sabbatical right now, probably dealing with the fact that he wasn't the one that retired me. I mean, it probably broke his heart that he couldn't get the 1, 2, 3 pin on me after I took the Continental title from him last August and kept it for over a year. And he just choked away title chance after title chance after title chance. And
well, I want to believe
sure
that's the reason. Well, I want to believe that's the reason he's not here tonight. I think you pretty much said he's on a sabbatical, and I'm sure the time will come when Comatose will have something to say, and I think a lot of people will always be interested in what he has to say, especially a psychotic freak who popped in here earlier in the show. But nevertheless, BES was very impressive, and again, it was certainly November to remember for him in night one and night two. especially night one. But I'm going to share my screen once again, and that's kind of my segue. It's kind of my cue. We'll come back to the match shortly because speaking of individuals, I guess you guys will get this recurring theme here tonight because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time when the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that BTW helps build, BS goes into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So another guy that all the things I've said about him the past year and a half, and he's not in the Hall of Fame individually, but there he is. There he is. So I'm sure you guys can give him this, and maybe the coolest guy can be now one of the cooler guys in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So congratulations to BES, and maybe somebody will let him know of this later on. But nevertheless, I guess I wanted to ask you, RTG, anything next season we should keep an eye on, especially other than the Northwest Society? You know, one man I would love to certainly see in BTW back next season is one Jacob effin Wayne.
Yes, as far as I know, he will be back next season. We're going to have some more people coming, so
Yeah.
it should be bigger and better. I'm not going to name any names. It's going to be a
Don't do that on
surprise.
here. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to name any names because we named names last season and then they fell through. So
yeah, that's why I think at this point, you let us know. We'll talk about it on Sportswire, I'm sure, when the time is right, and we'll be very excited about that. But Jacob effin Wayne is a guy I would love to see back in BTW. What he brings to the table, his sheer strength. And RJS, you've been in the ring with him. Stephen Storm, you know him very well. And I would love to see some Jacob Wayne matches with the likes of Swift, BES, RJS once again. And that guy Comatose, who had quite a bit to say about Jacob effin Wayne. I would love to see that, RTG. I know you aren't a fan of Comatose, but I mean, I would love to see Jacob effin Wayne and Comatose out there in the ring.
I know that Jacob Wayne wants him. He was asking for it, and I know Comatose wants Jacob. He was asking for it. They want the match.
Yep.
Comatose wants everybody. For me, he never wanted to challenge me again, and he never wanted to put that.
But we never got to see that match. It's a what if. We're gonna see that rematch.
You will get to see. Most likely, you will get to see Jacob Wayne against Comatose some point.
But we're never going to get to see the rematch of RTG and Comatose.
Never. Unless, I come out of retirement. You never know.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, Flair did it. I mean, Shawn Michaels technically did it. I mean, we wouldn't be surprised, but I think we're assuming this is the retirement match. Yeah. I mean, I think RJS.
The Mrs. G has put her foot down.
Well, I think Mrs. G is going to overrule all of us. Listen, Mrs. G is the one we have to listen to most. I think that's, because I don't want to certainly get Mrs. G mad for sure. But obviously, yes, congratulations to Stephen Storm and being in the Hall of Fame. And you guys, 10 years, obviously 10 years as a company. I mean, just an amazing accomplishment. And it's got to feel good to have reached 10 years. Not many companies in the backyard and the underground reach 10 years.
Not only that, but just how we've gotten better and better and better and better. And we're going to continue to get better. I mean, this year in the ring was the first year in the ring for everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, not necessarily RJS and BES.
We talked about that when you were in here. I talked about that with him. He had been in the ring,
But everybody else, as far as I know, this was their first time getting in the ring and doing anything in a ring. So, and if I'm mistaken on that, they'll tell you or whatever. But just from
Comatose had mentioned it on here. No, Comatose has talked a lot about it. I think Steven had mentioned it here on Sportswire in the past. No, listen, I mean, and it's great to see guys get the opportunity.
You look from the first matches that we did at the beginning of the season, the Rumble, to November to Remember, and you can definitely see the improvement everybody put in. And it's only going to get better next season.
Listen, Rome
Moving
wasn't
forward.
built in a day. It takes time. Listen, everything takes time. And I think that, listen, you guys are going to get even better next season. And BTW gets better year after year. I mean, the roster, the talent, and to see you guys reach 10 years is a tremendous milestone. It's a great accomplishment. It's a well-deserved one. It's great to see all the guys out there, even with Mad Jack and his haircut. But nevertheless, it's great to see everybody out there celebrating. And it's great to see guys get that opportunity to be in the ring. Because, I talk with guys sometimes on here, and they would love that opportunity. And you guys got that opportunity. Like I said, I know RJS has had that opportunity. I know he's traveled up this way, but the reason I had mentioned 10 years and why it's important, because I know this has been a theme here tonight on Sportswire, and I want to do it because I want to share my screen one more time for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. BTW goes in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for a second time, which makes RTG technically a 4-time Hall of Famer. Yeah, I couldn't induct you individually this year because you got retired by RJS. I think RJS
Yeah.
he was gonna listen. RJS was telling me during the week. He and I were talking, and he told me, he said, Tom, if you induct RTG in the Hall of Fame again individually, I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna come to the Sportswire studios, and I'm gonna give you a Canadian Destroyer live on there. And I said, all right, you know what, RJS, I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna induct BTW into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame for all the guys who didn't get a chance to be a part of it last season for this season. Guys like Mikey D, Andre Xavier, Mad Jack, you can go in the Hall of Fame now with BTW as a company for reaching 10 years. Gabriel James as well, Blackout, Redhead, all the others. You go in the Hall of Fame. We'll give this a copy to management, which is, well, 2 of you here on the screen, and congratulations in 10 years and well-deserved accomplishment. And wanted you guys to have. Look, really, I'm really serious. I'm dead serious, RTG, that RGS was going to come to my house because he's been to New York before. He was going to come live on air on Sportswire and give me a Canadian Destroyer on air if you got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would have been there with him. He wouldn't have flown by himself.
No, you would have probably counted the 1, 2, 3, but no, we're just kidding. But no, we wanted to give you that. You guys are awesome. Congratulations. And, anything else you guys want to say? Anything else we should, know, or what's ahead for next season? Anything else that I'm going to put your Instagram up here so people can go follow. And I know we'll also see some more content still coming out throughout the season. We have content till next season that'll keep the BTW fans still hungry for more, and they won't be starving because you'll have plenty of content, I know, to show out there. Am I right, RTG?
Yes, you are correct.
I'm excited about that because I see here on my screen we have some other content. You can check out some previous stuff, some other things, and that's going to certainly whet the appetite for BTW fans. And you can see some of that stuff out there. Yes, previous RTG matches. You can also, by the way, I have to point out, you have to become a member of BTW. And one of the reasons why that's important is becoming a member is it helps the guys so much in what they do out there because it's not easy, the time and efforts, the cost. And I'm going to make an announcement here on Sportswire Radio. And I want this to be for all the guys here. I want to give this for some motivation. And in 2026, next month, I'm going to join Members First for BTW. I want to help you guys because you help out the wrestling community. I know RTG is like, well, why did you do it sooner? Why didn't you announce it? Now I'm going to come over there with Blackout, but I'm going to make the announcement here on Sportswire Radio. I'm going to join Members First because let me tell you why this is important. It's just like buying a shirt, just like when you join a Patreon page, this helps all the talent in BTW to get out there and do what they do best and pursue their dreams. And this is what they do by putting their blood, sweat, and tears out there. So I'm going to make that announcement here. Here on Sportswire, we put our money where our mouth is, and we want to do that here. So we'll make that announcement here tonight. In the beginning of the year, we'll join also the Members First. And, I won't spoil it for the people, but nevertheless, I want everybody else to join me here. And please support BTW. And we're excited about that. Yeah, excited about what the future is. And a lot to look forward to, fellas.
Yep.
A
Hey
lot to look
Tom,
forward to.
can I say
Yes.
something real quick?
You can say anything you want. You're the Sunsetter.
I want to give a few thank yous, okay?
Sure.
I want to thank Derek Destroyer, Jacob Frost, Jacob Wayne, Comatose, and every single member of the BCF4 for not only keeping my dream alive, but you guys helped us get to 10 years, and I'm forever grateful for that.
No, we're grateful that you want to continue your dream, and we're grateful that we get an opportunity to talk about that, and that's what I'm about. I'm about connecting people to give them those dreams. One of the things we were talking about the other day on Sportswire when I had Sick Boy on of WCW, and some of the guys in the chat were talking about the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I said, I want everybody to be in the Hall of Fame so they can be there with those guys that have made it. And I told you this, RJS, off the I believe in you, and I know you're going to be where you want to be in the coming future. So your dream is going to burn bright, and it's going to be alive and well. And as long as I have a platform, BTW is always going to have a voice and an opportunity. And all the guys are going to have that as well. We want to thank those guys. And big shout out to, especially at Jacob Frost. Big shout out to Jacob F. and Wayne, because I definitely don't want to get on his bad side. And of course, Comatose, who's on sabbatical, and we'll see him soon. And also, Zilla wanted to say this, by the way, before I get to Zilla. That's the Instagram page of BTW. If you want to join BTW and you want to find out more about what BTW has to offer, follow them on Instagram, and you can see what they have to offer, and all the great talent, and some of the names, and previous stuff, other things out there, and just some great stuff. Yeah, the photo dump. How about that? The photos from some of the guys, and great group of guys. Many of them have come on Sportswire throughout the past year and a half. And there's Mikey D. He doesn't have a Big Mac in his hand, RTG, at the moment. So leave him alone. Cut him slack. Alex Ryder, shout out to him, and all the guys. That's what it's about. That's what I love most, is seeing all the groups together having fun. I've seen it with the NEW guys, the RWW guys, the IMF, the TF crew, the BYCW, the LBYW gang, wrestling's there, all the great people. And I love seeing this there, just people having a good time. That's what wrestling is about. Wrestling is about a community. I was with a guy who's going through something with his son, and I've been helping him out, and I was telling him that same thing. Look at these photos. Peace and love. Yes, that's what we're about. Peace and love. And sorry, RJS, I showed that live on Sportswire. But you got all the great stuff there. And Zilla wanted to say this, that I'm going to say this. Thank you to BTW and the BTW roster for letting me be a big fan of them and supporting them too. Yeah, Zilla is always in your chat. She's always there, side by side. And Zilla is the best. We love Zilla. And thank you, Zilla. And Jacob Wayne, Stephen Storm, Gabriel James. Yep, rising star, the rising star. And Blackout, Comatose, RJS, BES, and Swift. And I want to thank Mikey D, who's here. I want to thank Mad Jack, who's somewhere out there. And everybody else out there. El Basico, everybody else that's out there, Rick Manson, Swift, of course, Swift. And Steven, anything you want to say, Steven, before next season, or anything else that I should ask you that we haven't?
All I know is that when it comes to next season, there's gonna be some crazy stuff that's gonna happen.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to that crazy stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you specifically do, because I think where does Steven Storm go from here? Where do the BCF4 go from here? I mean, you guys have just, the dissension, obviously the lack of success has eluded you guys this year, and that's going to be one of the burning questions throughout 2026. And RTG has said his offer will expire at some point. It will expire like Black Friday deals, Christmas shopping. I mean, it will expire. It will expire. Cyber Monday deals, it will expire. So you're on the clock. You're on the clock like the Kansas City Chiefs are right now, because they're going to be in the NFL draft this year. They're going to have to draft and maybe even a quarterback. And you're on the clock. You're on the clock, Stephen Storm. You're on the clock. RTG baby. I was supposed to say RGS, but he just spoke. RTG, is there anything else you want to say before we get to closing thoughts and before next season? I'm sure
Steven,
you guys will be back on if Comatose is going to have plenty to say. People are waiting for Comatose to return in a few weeks, so we'll be talking a lot about you guys then. But anything you want to say now before and such?
just one last thing out there to you, Steven. Make Zilla happy. He's a member of it, so you want to be a member of it with her, don't you? And I just wanted to say, when we started this, I never thought 10 years later we would be still doing it. So, it's a dream that my kids have, and as long as they have it, I'm gonna keep supporting them and doing it. And
but not in the ring though. You were retired.
That part of it's over. That part, the in-ring part's over. I'll still make their life a living hell outside the ring. My Munster will make their life a hell inside the ring.
Well, listen,
and Gabriel Day.
Well, Swift, I'll tell you what, I'm really curious to see what happens with Swift now as the BTW World Champion. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios that I'm really, really fascinated with your group. What you guys decide to do with Swift? Do you want to take him out? I think that's another question as well.
And Steven, just think about it. If you do join the Northwest Society, there'll be 2 Hall of Famers, individual Hall of Famers, I should say.
I see.
Where everybody in BTW is a Hall of Famer now, but 2 individual Hall of Famers in the Northwest Society.
And I'm sure we'll have more BCF4 members join the Hall of Fame, which Steven may say that, well, I'm going to wait till they go into the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Listen, that's an interesting point, but, I hear you.
And like I said, RJS, congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame, but just know that me, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT, was the first one individually put into the Hall of Fame.
That may be so, but he did get technically inducted twice tonight.
Yeah, that is true, RTG.
What?
He got inducted twice tonight. He was inducted.
It is true.
BTW and himself.
It is true, but I was the first.
That also may be true, but
ones up, baby. Put the ones up.
Listen, well, you know what? He got in twice tonight, and I do owe him an apology because he really should have been in a lot sooner. RJS is definitely one of those guys that should have been in sooner, especially with the backyard and the underground wrestlers that are in the Hall of Fame. There's some names that I would definitely like a do-over on, but RJS, we're very honored to have him in the Hall of Fame. We're very honored to have Stephen Storm in the Hall of Fame. Another man that's very, very long overdue. BES, well overdue. Swift, I mean, need I say more? Yeah, listen, but you get the theme tonight. These names here in BTW were well overdue to be in the Hall of Fame individually, and of course, as a company, you guys go in for a second time. So there you have it. So great stuff. It was a lot of fun talking about some of the things here that took place in the season finale, and a lot of question marks. I know Comatose will be on here in a few weeks, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say. That might even mean your presence, RTG, will come back onto Sportswire. And I also want to remind people to please join the members first for BTW on their YouTube channel. I'm going to join that at the beginning of the year. So if you can, that's what allows these guys to live their dreams and continue them. So please support them. Also, merchandise, if you can, go to the TeePublic store, Instagram if you want to find out more information. And any closing thoughts you guys have before we sign off tonight?
Just want to say that next season is going to be bigger, better, and the best ever in BTW.
Let me just put it this way, Tom.
Yes, sir.
89% of viewers enjoyed season 7. So what do you think?
Wait, you mean to tell me that 100% didn't?
No, apparently not.
Well, we'll get to 11%. We need freak Matt. We'll need some freak Matt there to get that too. He'll have us at
Probably
like
the
5.
fans of Blase.
And by the way, I would hope that the psychotic freak is somehow he finds his way to meet Comatose. I would
Yeah.
love to see that in BTW. Again, I know we're not talking about names. We're not doing that. We did that last year, and obviously certain names. But I'm praying on that. I would pray about that. Yeah, we'll pray. We'll pray on that. But obviously, fellas, it's great to see you, Steve. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
All I know is that there's going to be some changes next season and a lot of things are going to happen. I'm just trying to get ready and everything. And I hope the fans are ready for it.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be ready. I think we're very excited, and I think the best is yet to come here when it comes to
Yep.
BTW. And one more time before we sign off, if you are here, do me a favor, please follow BTW on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and also go to the BTW YouTube channel where you can become a members first member. Members first member. That's easy to remember. So please join that. Also merchandise. Go to the T Public store. Check them out on TikTok. Check out all the shorts. Great group. Put them in the Hall of Fame once again. And RTG is here for the final words. I'm going to give you the last word, RTJ, before we sign off.
Again, thank you for having us on all season. These last 2 seasons, Tom, for promoting us, being there for us, and everybody tune in next season. It's going to be bigger, better, and the best ever for BTW.
It's like Tom always says, the best is yet to come.
There you go. There you go. Somewhere the best is yet to come. I was waiting for that. There you go. It wasn't quite chess rather than checkers or 2 steps ahead, but I'm glad. Yes, the best is yet to come. And I want to thank BTW before we sign off, because BTW has played an integral role for Sportswire Radio, not only being all music matters, but most importantly, all wrestling matters. And all these heavy hitters, all these big names you see that RJS is going to join in the wrestling world in a few years is because of companies like BTW. So those names wouldn't be here if it wasn't for BTW being here with us and helping us. And we appreciate you guys. We want to wish you guys a happy holiday. We want to wish you safe travel out there and peace and prosperity and peace and love. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks. And I know Comatose, he'll certainly be waiting to talk about his situation with Steven Storm and BES and what's next, and that guy with Freak Math. So, fellas, thank you so much. Congratulations. I have a lot of things to give you guys off the air, and I'm sure we'll arrange it. And Steven, it was nice to see you, and it was the best you sounded here on Sportswire in a long time, and hopefully get a little bit better for next season. And guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, Happy Three Kings. I say them all. And we'll see you guys in a few weeks.
All right. Sounds good. And Merry Christmas to you too, Tom.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. And that is the BTW gang. That is RTG. That is RJS, the Sunsetter, the BTW Continental Champion, the Hardcore Assassin, Steven Storm. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, please support the BTW guys. Go out there and also hit a sub button for them. Join their members first page. Also follow them on Instagram, TikTok. Support us. I'll be back here Tuesday. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to be here Tuesday with the collective, which you'll see all over the place in the Northeast Independent Circuit. And I'll also be here with an up-and-coming musician, Brandon Mendenhall. But until then, support BTW and Merry Christmas to BTW. Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everybody out there. It is the first day of Hanukkah. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio, Sportswire Radio with all music and wrestling. Have a good day, everybody. See you Tuesday.